the American soldiers set their foot on the land. Previously, they were only bombing from the air. Died. 55,000 American soldiers died. And 1.1 million Vietnamese died. 1.1 million Vietnamese died. And how did the war end? The US declared that we have won and then went away. They declared that we have won and went away because the resistance within the country was so very, very high. In the campuses and in the streets, people demonstrated, we don't want any more war. Now, in the First World War, 22 million people died. In the First World War, 22 million people died. And in the Second World War, yes, 60 to 80 million people died. 60 to 80 million people died. But did the world regress or progress? Any guess? There is progress only. So, in fact, is it not our Indian philosophy that death is the beginning of a new life, a higher civilization, etc.? That's what Shivatananda is saying. So now also, you take this war, because the area where this war is being fought is the energy source, huge source of energy for the world. And it is for this oil and earlier gas that the world is fighting. Of course, in between, the Islam, it is not a spiritual movement, it is a death-courting and death-dealing ideology. In fact, all the three Abrahamic ideologies, the Jewish, the Christian, the Marxist, and the Islamic, all these four, Marxist is also a Jewish ideology, Karl Marx. So, all these things have been leading the world to war after war after war. It's only in China and in India we have not been the cause of war. We may be dragged into war, but not the cause of war. And war means, you take Mahabharata war was fought with how many Akshaunis? 18. 18 Akshaunis. 11 on one side, 7 on another side. Did it herald peace forever? No, never. And how much is a Akshauni? 218,700 warriors constitute one Akshavani. It consists of 4 divisions, the chariots, elephants, and foot soldiers and horses. How many foot soldiers are there? 109,000, say 110,000 foot soldiers in one Akshavani, 65,610 horses, 21,900 chariots, 21,970 elephants like tanks. 18 times this one, that's what they perish. Did it bring peace? Only a temporary truce. So war and peace alternate. And there are wars always in some part of the world or not. Therefore we have to take this as a normal. There is nothing new in this one. You take even in the Middle East or West Asia, which is the source of much of the world's energy, Iran and Iraq fought for how many years? 8 years. 1980 to 88. And how did it end? They could not come to a conclusion. It is somebody who has United Nations and they have truce. And in this war, see, the Iranians are 90 million and the Iraqis are only 48 million. But they fought. the 48 million fellows fought against the 90. And when the adults are getting depleted, the teenagers were brought into the war, and they are exhausted. Now, what is Trump saying? What did he say last? There is nothing there to fight. It's all finished. That means it is a prelude to go away. Just as in Vietnam, we have won and then they went away. It did not conclude. They got exhausted and they went away. Similarly, here also, now Trump is leading to the conclusion that we have won and we will go away. There is nothing to smash in here now. That's an excuse. So, wars and plague and such diseases have been common occurrences. Therefore, there is nothing new world order. It is my first submission. The old order changeth, yielding place to new, lest one good custom should corrupt the entire world. Lord Tennyson's poem it is. మహాభారతంలో ఎన్ని అద్భుతాలు పద్యాలు ఉన్నాయో అదేవిధంగా ది ఓల్డ్ ఆర్డర్ changeth, yielding place to new, lest one good custom should corrupt the entire world. Once there was Pax Britannica. Great Britain was able to impose peace all over the world. But today is there one power which can impose? Take the simple thing, the Gaza war. When did it start? In October 1923. How many years now? Now, you take the Ukrainian and Russian war, which is also entered in the third, fourth year. Is it end in sight? No. So therefore, chaos, if not chaos, disorder and local wars are normal. Now, how will they affect India? Now, yesterday or day before yesterday, Nirmala Sitharaman has said, I have provided 1 lakh crores of rupees for coping up with the new situation that is arising. She said that I took 1 barrel of oil will be at $62 when I make the budget. Now it has cost 100. It used to be $3 in 1973 when the second Israel-Arab war started. It was $3 a barrel, and after that it became how many times? $18, and now it is crossing $100. So is this peace or was there any peace? But just imagine, First World War ended after 4 years of slaughter, 5 years of slaughter in 1919. Within 20 years, a much more deadlier war started, the Second World War. And after that one, there are several wars going on simultaneously in the world. So we should take it as normal. So first thing I wanted to say is, there is no war. No world order is a wonder. It is normal. So order changes, and therefore everyone has to use his genius. Every nation has to use his genius to cope up with that one. It is with that Nirmala ji has said that I have now provided 100, that is 1 lakh crores to meet with the new situation. What is the new situation? Today gas is not there, that's what we are saying. Whether the government says there is enough gas, we have got enough for lasting for days, there should not be any commotion about this one. So friends, let us see what views we can express regarding the theme that we have said. How can Bharat's economy navigate? We are already the 4th largest economy in the world. Yeah. We are going to become the 3rd largest economy within another 4 or 5 years or so. That is after US, China and ours, with great gap between any two of these. Now Chinese economy is $18 trillion. Ours is 4, 5, about 4 and above 5. And the American one, 71. 71. Huh?
29, 28, 29.
Right. So there is such great disparity. Unless there is disparity, there will be no motion. Unless there is disparity, there will be no motion at all. That is a fundamental law in physics. What is force? That everything continues in a state of rest or of continuous motion unless interfered with an external source, which we call it force. So that force to come from within is very difficult. It will be coming from an outside source, it will become a wave. So let us, friends, with these few words, and see our Mahabharata war, 18 Akshaunis. And how many people remained? Not even 18 people remained on the both sides. The Upa-Pandavas are all killed. Only the Pandavas remained. And Dhritarashtra and Gandhari only remained on that side, and here Kunti, Draupadi, etc. How few people remained. But has India come to an end? No, she has not come to an end. It will go on. So let us see what our friends have got to say. Uncertainty. Uncertainty is the force that will bring change. If there is a certainty, there will be no change at all. So whether it will be for good or bad, now some people will say it is for good, and some people will say it is worse. But I think we have to be very, the world will always be better than what it was. Stop this one. It's always good to end with a healthy future of pessimism. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So today we are going to discuss about the current economic scenario of Bharat in view of the Middle East or the Gulf countries where Iran and US are fighting for their supremacy, whatever reasons that are best known to us. What we are going to have is we have with us Murthy Garu, who is going to present his thoughts in terms of the current world order, emerging current world order, how we need to have some kind of from this meeting, what we are expecting is to get some kind of suggestions to the government of India to make, to see that our economy flourishes, or, our economy can cope up with this uncertainty that is existing by these events that are unfolding in the Gulf countries. So may I request Mr. Murthy Garu to take it forward.
Andariki namaskaram. And thank you very much, Hanuman Chaudhary Garu, for giving an introduction that change is permanent, number one, and wars are permanent. As he perfectly says, there's different points of time, different types of Rakshasas will be there to continuously disturb the peace. So we have a great Rakshasa in the form of a Trump, who doesn't know what he's doing, for what purpose he's doing. That's a whole. And when he got elected, he made beautiful speeches that he's a creator of peace, and he's a messenger of peace, and he's going to leave peaceful. All wars will end overnight, within 7 days or something like that. Ultimately, he ended in creating so many wars. So perfectly right, sir. You have said the right tone. Coming to the point of the agenda given by the organizers is changing global economic order, Bharat's strategic position in fragmented world, strengthening domestic economic resilience, long-term economic strategy for Bharat. This is the 4 topics. And for these 4 topics, we have, of course, I'm going to give intro for the whole topic. At the same time, we have 4 speakers: Nilanjan Bhanik, Sri Nilanjan Bhanik, Professor of Mahindra University; Hanuman Garu, Vice Chairman of FATSI, Direct Tax Committee, and Shivaji Balav Sahu, founder of Human Potential Development Science, Infotech. Haji, welcome, sir. And Professor Tada Balakrishna Prabhakar Reddy garu. Namaskaram. So, professor for Nalanda International University. So, I think these are the, in others also, I think at the end they can talk. So, 4 topics will start with the topic. As an intro, the changing global economic order. No, this economic order change, if I see, not so much before Ukraine war. In the Ukraine war, though earlier wars, US has been sanctioning here and there, but Ukraine war has started the thinking among the whole global community how to, face the US wrath. US going on suddenly keeping some sanctions on every country and throttling the economy, throttling those countries. $400 billion of Ukraine funds across the world have been frozen. Gold everywhere stored in UK, walls are frozen. In such situation, everybody started thinking how to, put a stop to the US hegemony. So there the whole global changing economic order has come. And then what happened is, after Trump coming, the Trump tariff effect. Of course, before Trump itself he started. But his tariff, the way he humiliated every country, everybody, South African president he humiliated European Union Commission chairman, and everybody humiliated. Well, he said, why have you come? You are not any state head. When European Commission chairman went along with the state heads. And in the situation of humiliation, and the way he humiliated Canada, he said, you are a part of, you are a governor. He said, governor, when the whole problem. And Japan humiliated, Australia humiliated. So whole, one by one, Brazil, so all these countries, one by one, he started humiliating. So in the process, what happened? The way he declared Greenland's takeover. Then the way he declared, he will do the Colombia next. So first started with Canada, then Greenland, then Colombia, then Venezuela. Venezuela he's acted upon. Directly he has kidnapped. Now the whole world is against him. Now, the whole economic order, meanwhile, our government has already, started how to desert. Not only our government, all governments have started deserting dollars. They have all deserted dollars going to gold purchase. All the reserves, they started purchasing gold. And what India has done very nicely, it has taken all the gold out of UK and slowly brought almost, except 100 tons, I think the balance, everything is brought back to the India. So the way the whole happened, what is happening now is really alternate for dollar has been started. Every country is being working. BRICS is working for a separate currency by itself. We don't know what is the progress of it. Real details are not known. But the fact of the matter is, we have started, almost entered into around 80 countries, our own trade in the own exchanges, directly rupee trade. US is happening. And so one by one, all countries are getting into rupee trade. And what is happening? How they are exchanging rupees? USSR and Russia is a big problem for us. The reason being we import a lot of oil. What to do with all the rupees? USSR, our Russia is facing a problem. What to do with the, with the rupee? So what we are doing is we are giving them a basket what they can purchase from India. Slowly now they are importing from India. So whole rupee and ruble trade, rupee and yuan trade, and rupee and dirham trade, all trades are now slowly leaving dollar. So this is where the global new economic order is started, and it is going to form. The global economic order purely making of US hegemony and giving sanctions at the hat of, just at the hat, they will declare, sanctions. So with this, I feel now another big front is going to come. Don't underestimate the whole Gulf and GCC countries. They are realized, now nobody retaliated against Iran. Why they have not retaliated? UAE has not retaliated. Dubai has not retaliated. And no country, Saudi is not retaliated. Even Oman has not retaliated. Though so many countries with all the ammunition, they are not supporting US. Yes, they have given the basis. They are keeping quiet. And on the contrary, Iran president, he said, our intention is not to harm them. Only we are hitting the basis of U.S. basis. A day will come, not far away, they will all gang up against U.S. It is not far away. And U.S. will be isolated. The way already Europe has isolated U.S. First UK said, I am not going to give a base. Finally, it has given a base, since he has no choice. And nobody in the Europe is ready to give a base to, nobody is ready to enter, except France has no choice, since, the Qatar is all depending on the France's, defense equipment, so ultimately, my feeling is, my guess is, day is not far away, everybody will gang up against US. If Trump goes on continuing to this sort of thing, may not be in 2 years or 3 years, in another 4 or 5 years, a day is not far away. By the time, whatever fate USSR faced, USA is going to face. If the same thing going to happen, already California says, I'll go away. And next will be Texas. So many states will start, declaring they will go away. So the ultimate breakup of USA, there is no doubt it will happen in case Trump continues, or successor of Trump continues the similar policies. And if Trump continues, if he wins in the November, midterm polls, then certainly California is going to go away. It all depends. If Trump loses, the California may be there. If not, it may go away. So this is the world order now. In this changing world order, certainly dollar is going to be weakened and rupee is going to play a role, but we can't play a role. Reason being, Sir Hanumantu, correction I will say, the gap is not much. The gap in China's economy and our economy, GDP, is, if we take PPP parity, purchasing power parity, our GDP is around 19 trillion, 18 point or 18.5. Our gap between Chinese purchasing power parity and you take $1,000, what it can purchase in US, $1,000 what you can purchase here. So the purchasing power parity, whatever you take $1 there, it can be purchased 5.5 times here. For example, our 1,000 rupees will be more powerful than dollars, in terms of, dollars, if you convert. Their rental itself is 2.5 lakh. 25,000 will get a good house with 3 bedrooms. So this is purchasing power parity. So in purchasing power parity terms, our GDP is around 18.5 or below 19. And Chinese is 19, above 19. So crossing Chinese GDP in terms of PPP is not that difficult. I think we have economic professors are there, they will talk more on purchasing power parity. So therefore, the gap is not so much, and it's not difficult, but yes, US the gap is much, quite high, but China is not much. We can get to, in PPP, very easily cross the China. So coming back to the point, changing global economic order, which is very, very clear with all whatever, mess created by Trump, our economic order is going to change, and dollar, there is no choice, dollar is going to fall. There is no choice now. After what he messed up with Middle East.
Iran is considering yuan trade shipments will be allowed from Hormuz.
Yeah, expected.
If you trade it in yuans,
Yeah.
they will allow you that.
Yeah, so therefore they want to support Russia. This is all over. So China and then they come ruble. It is only cost. This will happen. So they're going to happen. So everybody will gang up against dollar. You will see a very fast. Once it catches up, it will be like a spiraling effect. So fall of U.S. economy is quite imminent. The second point, sir, on the second point of Bharat's strategic position in fragmenting world, what I can say in terms of strategic position, our if you see last 10, 15 years, 10 years, especially after the India government has come, Operation Brahma, we have seen, where Myanmar we have supported. And in terms of Operation Sagar Bandhu, we have supported Sri Lanka, 1,058 tons of relief material when cyclones happened. And Operation Dost, we supported Turkey and Syria in terms of sending NDRF. And we had Operation Kaveri and Ganga, we have supported, evacuation of people stranded in Ukraine. And the Operation Devi Shakti, Afghanistan 2021, we supported not only evaluation and safeguarding all monuments. And if you see going on, listing out the achievements and what support we gave, we have, I think, shown our soft power, and we are going to be, our strategic position in the fragmented world is very, very, getting strengthened day by day. If you see vaccine Maitri is a very powerful Maitri. 30 crore doses we have sent to 99 countries. Isn't that a small thing? The people, I think, one of the countries where when Modi ji went, the president, is touching his feet. So this is the level of strategic position we made in fragmented world. In the all fragmented world, so all the groups, whichever group they are, but they are friendly with India. Very important point which you see, Iran has allowed our ships yesterday, cross through the Hormuz. This is what the strategic position India had. And essential medicines, even to the US we gave. Of course, the US is thankless, they don't have any gratitude. But, we have sent, when Trump asked, during COVID time, we have sent, paracetamol and CQ and all that. And health across 48 South African countries. Still we are supporting in terms of health, South African countries. So what I mean to say, in the fragmented world, we have kept our own strategic position very strong. We have a strategic position. We are positioned well, and we are friendly with all the countries, and all the countries are accepting India as their leader. India, the confidence, the credibility of India. So this is where we have to, I think, the second point which Srinivas you have given the mandate, in terms of the strategic position in the fragmented world, I feel Bharat is really well placed strategically to lead the whole world. Not only that, to be a leader, natural leader, so that the people are accepting by the credibility of the government or deeds of the government. So I think this is the point, sir. And the third point which you wanted to have is strengthening domestic economic resilience. I think economy and politics don't go different, both are together. The politico-economic situation of India, the politics basically India has played in terms of global politics, and in terms of Ukraine war, not taking a side and being neutral, even in Iran war, taking a neutral. So we are purely protecting our economy. Whatever be strategic positioning, the fact of the matter is, the way you have kept yourself, aloof from identifying with any group in Ukraine war has helped us. We have taken advantage, and today we have, 74 days, we have reserves, strategic petroleum reserves. All the strategic petroleum reserves are built up in Visakhapatnam, Karnataka, 2 places. All the strategic reserves what we built up only mainly in the Ukraine war time. We have got a cheap 40, 50 rupee, $50 crude, and we kept it. Today that itself will contribute 5,000, 5,000 crore rupees, the value of the savings what we did during that period. So this is a very, very important point of economic, resilience. Of course, today our inflation, in spite of due to these recent developments, has touched 3.2%, and our economic growth is supposed to be last year 7.6% GDP growth of ultimate numbers. Now this year is projected to be 7.2, but it may get affected with these exports getting affected. This Hormuz Strait problem will affect us very badly in terms of exports to Middle East, Gulf countries. So we have a major export, 15% of total exports go to Middle East, so we will be affected by that. And our crude, our imports also will get affected. So due to this, we'll have a current account deficit, may go up by 1 or 2 points. At the same time, our economic resilience, we have to show, we'll have an impact on the economy, no doubt. And if the crude oil grows to $100 or $120, of course, ONGC will be happy. All petroleum companies will be happy. But common man we'll have a lot of problem in terms of inflation, in terms of gas prices. Already, for your information, PP granules are not available in the market. Cement companies don't get bags. The reason being, the government has said everything comes from petroleum feedstock. And they said produce more LPG. So ethane is not there, methane is not there, all chemical industry is suffering. Now government is immediately giving instructions. Since yesterday I was coming from a cement company, day before yesterday I was in some other Sun Pharma company. So I know the whole feedstock for medical, chemicals, they're all stopped now. They're all being diverted to LPG. So that this is the immediate impact which we will see on other industries. So we will have an impact on economic growth. The 7.2 which was projected will not happen, may come around 5-6 points, maybe 6.5 or 6.6. We will see if the war continues like this. But if the Hormuz, Iran allows, as a ruble and just now yuan trade, then I think we'll be saved. There is no doubt about it. To some extent, we will be saved. So now the economic resilience. If you want to have strong economic resilience, what we should do is we should continue to have the politico-economic diplomacy. I will say not economic diplomacy, is a politico-economic diplomacy where safeguarding our Indian interests, we should have, that should drive our foreign policy. With that policy, if you can do, our economy can be, we can take care of the, to some extent, our economic problems. And other important problems are what I feel, is our remittances will fall substantially. Gulf is a major, 60-70% of remittances into Indian system. The NRIs stay in Gulf, they remit a lot of dollars to us. That will have a major impact. So that will also have a balance of payments problem. Our current account deficit is being bridged by these, remittances. That will have a problem. So that we have to see. So it is a very dicey situation. We have to, economic policies have to be, more dynamic, based on the length of the war and impact of the war. So first is our effort should be to reduce the impact of the war, by doing proper diplomacy and taking other steps. I do not know to what extent we can allow, only gas, production, stopping all other, productions, other products. So, this is broadly the picture. I think I'm very happy that, Nirmala Sitharaman chepparu 1 lakh crore, but the drawback on that money is not sufficient. Money cannot give a solution in case we don't have feedstock of crude. So if a crude is there, even if $100, $120 it can go, the money subsidy will give. But if that is not coming at 120, 100 also, availability comes down, the money will not help us. So that is the point as far as the topic of strengthening domestic economic resilience. Of course, we have $20 billion. We have foreign reserves which will support us. There's a very strong, position now. That's very good. And also we have ring-fenced fairly, last 3-4 years, bringing all the dollars, number one. Bringing all the gold and converting our dollar into gold. We have done a great job. So we have protected ourselves. But the peculiar problem, what we are seeing is Europe, Saudi and UAE are dumping gold. It never happened in the past. Every war, the gold prices have gone up. Everybody accumulated gold, but UAE has no choice than to dump the gold. So since they have to survive their own economy, all their economy is in a mess. That's why they are selling the gold now itself. So I don't know. The gold, impact on our economy. We have to wait and see. We wish the gold prices should be like that. If the gold prices fall down, our reserves also will fall down. So we require. Both sides. It's a double-edged sword. But we wish at this point of time, gold prices should be there at that level to protect our global economic order, I should say. Not only for India, for global economic order, gold is the only protector right now. So coming back to the fourth point, which long-term economic strategy for Bharat. So what we will see, sir, I don't want to conclude on this topic, but I will leave leads so that at the end of the day, at the end of the meeting, then we can jot down the points for referring to the government. I think Srinivas has requested at the end of the meeting, we should have some points what our recommendations are. So I can only say, as the economic strategy for Bharat, but not at the cost of repetition, but I'll list down what we should do. Continue to boost domestic consumption. Today, our economy is protected by domestic consumption. How domestic consumption is coming? We have been spending 10 lakh crore, 11 lakh crore, 12 lakh crore, on infrastructure. The way the infrastructure is developed, recently I was in Italy, Rome and Florence. When I went there, I felt India is far better on roads. When I saw those, today the days are gone when we think Europe is good. Today Indian roads are far, far better. The way the infrastructure in the last 11 years, our government has, focused is really tremendous. I mean, super stupendous. And I saw a lot of potholes everywhere in Europe. And today we see such a beautiful roads with us, and highways. And so this has really helped us to push the domestic consumption. All industries are doing well. Economic growth has come. And even one of the meetings, former Finance Minister Chidambaram said, you are allocating so much, how can you spend? You see one of the reactions, when our government allocated 9 lakh crores 2 years back, he was criticizing government. In earlier government, they could not allocate even 1 lakh crore. They could not spend. Today, our spend last year, of the allocation of 11 lakh crores, nearly 10 lakh crores we have spent. So this is where the airports have come, roads have come, hospitals have come, universities have come. What an amount of growth we are having, infra spending. So that is creating domestic demand. That will create our economy strong. So the first recommendation to medium and long-term economic strategy is continue to have domestic, consumption, push more on it. Second important is replace energy mix. Solar has gone to 30% of Indian energy. So go on pushing solar. We have so much of sun. We are so lucky to have such a sun. That's why our Sanatana Dharma, survived so many thousands of years only due to our climate. If you see so many Northern Pole and different countries who travel, and you feel sorry that they don't have proper climatic conditions for continual growth, but we had. So we have to capitalize on solar. Ghar Ghar Pe, the solar scheme is there. All these schemes have to be pushed up, and they have to and energy diversification, that focus should be there. And another point which sir, just since you have given the beautiful history, I want to add, diverting from this topic, when I saw the Zoroastrian, civilization and Roman civilization, I felt so sorry. The Roman civilization, Zoroastrian, both came out of Indian civilization. The Roman civilization got 600 gods, and it has got the sun as a god, Saraswati as a god, and Zoroastrian also sun as a god. So we have given birth, they are only 2000 BC or 3000 BC, but ours is far behind. So when we see all these civilizations, and when we see how the Abrahamic religions have come and killed those civilizations, we feel so sorry. And when you see the Colosseum in Rome, it is nothing but they were showing, they're killing the people who have not converted indirectly, who are defying the people. So they have brutally converted. The civilizations are destroyed. We have, thanks to Shivaji, like warriors, we could survive. Our civilization could survive till date. We are surviving. So just I thought of, since he said the wars are basically said they are changing civilizations. So how to kill civilizations? Babylonian civilization. If you see the history of the world, the earth, so many civilizations are extinct. But our civilization could have also been gone, from Afghanistan, came to this land. This land really people have fought to survive the civilization. So leaving that I thought, when I was talking about Europe, I thought of telling this. When I travel Europe, I feel how our great civilization was there in different form, got killed. That's a different topic for a different day. But coming to the point of, financial, the third point, sir, Mr. Solar, the third point which I would like to say is financial autonomy and rupee settlement. So we should continuously push for rupee settlement with all countries. Today, though we have entered with 80 plus countries, only 4 or 5 countries were successful. But we could not succeed in rupee settlement mainly due to imbalances in exports and imports. So luckily Russia showed interest that how you will settle, and they have printed a list of items which they can import from India, so they are settling in rupee payment. If not, this imbalance is a problem where you can't settle it. So I am happy that we could settle with Russia. China, to some extent, they have started importing from us, but imbalance is very high. So the government has to work on how to getting financial autonomy out of dollar, how to settle different with countries rupee settlements. I'm happy UAE has started with our GPay and Google Pay and RuPay. Our system is going there. So automatic conversion is happening. Similarly, we should activate our phone pay system with different types of countries so that an automatic settlements will happen. Then we'll wipe out the dollar. So that's very important. And this economic stabilization fund, of course, our chairman has mentioned, somehow I got the figure of 58,000 crores, but 1 lakh crores, but she said it, but on paper 58,000 crores, maybe that may be true, but we have to see, that has to be strengthened, number one. Next point is maritime security. Maritime security, we have to spend a lot of money. Today the maritime security allotments are quite less. Of course, newly some new warships have been commissioned, but the maritime security has to be strengthened. And alternate logistics. I don't know what is the cost of logistics. Alternate logistics, the way from, if you want to bring anything from Russia, it has to come only through Suez Canal. So how to bring it alternate logistics is a big subject where government has to work on alternate logistics to reduce the cost. And my biggest threat is what we'll face in these wars. For my experience, as an NSC director, we used to get a lakh of cyber hits every day, between 9 to 3. The cyber hits, attempted hits, will be in lakhs. And every institution, every bank, even today Axis Bank is getting around 60,000 hits. All our institutions are being continuously attacked by either Pakistan, or China, or Korea. Basically, these 3 countries, the cyber attacks, and we are very highly, our cyber security is there. Next attack will be on our internet cables. So if anything happens on internet cables, undersea cables, whole economy will collapse. So that is the next, during war situations, that will be the easiest way of attacking. This is what happened recently in Ukraine and Russia war. The Europe is cut off. Then they were doubting, Russia has done it. So which will have a total collapse of India. So immediately government has to strengthen the cyber security, cyber shield to all our, not only undersea, but also all the, great institutions of India, all national institutions. And I think what happened during recent Putin's visit to Delhi, where Delhi, airport got blocked for some time. Indigo crisis in Delhi airport also got blocked for some time. Got GPS system. There is a doubt. I don't know to what extent government has not disclosed it. There was a thing going on. It is a part of cyber attack. So sabotage Putin's visit. So very important is we should work on this. And strategic, dehyphenation. We have, to a great extent, we have done strategic dehyphenation from different, forces. Maybe we should not be dragged into Russian coterie. We should that they are handling properly, but US should not feel. I think Reliance investment in US will balance our closeness with Russia, I suppose. It's a very big investment. I think strategic dehyphenation is very important. Of course, Global South leadership. I think we should take up the Global South leadership strongly. And I think dialogue advocacy. So I think these are the items which may to some extent, that's what I said, not only economic, it should be political, economic, approaches and policies. Once we follow it, I think we can mitigate to reduce the impact of this this war to a great extent. So these are my feelings with this. I thought of giving only initial reactions and react after every speaker, but the request from the organizers is I should give initially more points. So I thought of, sorry sir if I have taken more time, because so many speakers are there. But broadly, I believe we are on the right track. Whatever suggestions we'll give on these drawings, we'll give them the government, all the suggestions of all of you. To a great extent, we can take a comfort that we have de-hyphened our relationship with the different global countries. So fairly we are in a, I should say, strong wicket. We need not get so much worried. We are slightly better than so many other countries. Europe is fragile economies, all in a debt trap, and our debt to GDP is, including state governments, is around 80% only, and including state government debt. So total debt to GDP, whereas US is more than 125, 130, I don't know, the number goes to 140 also. 140% of GDP. So all countries are in a bad shape, even Japan, Australia. You name a country, all developed economies or developing economies, their debt to GDP is quite high. And our debt to GDP, not only 80% lower, but also all our debt is internal debt, not dollar debt. Dollar debt is very low. So therefore, our economy, in terms of growth, in terms of internal consumption, in terms of inflation, in terms of agriculture, self-sufficiency, Iran is bending before India, and whole Gulf is bending before India for food grains. So we need not bend against any country for food grains. Of course, we have a problem of fertilizer, which we have to import, and sunflower oil. Oil is a very big problem for us, edible oil. Except edible oil and crude, we need not bend before any other country. And of course, Modi has said, reduce weight, reduce fat consumption. We started already a campaign to reduce our edible oil consumption. We have to change our food habits to reduce our edible oil. A long ask. Anyhow, with these introductory remarks, I sum it up, sir. We are fairly in a strong wicket. We are not in a weak wicket. We have a lot of comfort. And I'm supposed, with the policies of government, we can sail through this problem. But unless it goes beyond 6 months or 7 months or 8 months, then we also may be dragged into problem. Thank you very much, and I wish next anyone would like to speak. Nilanjan Bainik, sir, will you take it up? Yeah, please. Thank you very much.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on this word called disruption. Oh, okay. So my name is Nilanjan Banik. I am a Nilanjan Banik, and I'm a full-time professor at Mahindra University, and I'm also visiting Indian School of Business. I am trained as an economist. I have a degree from Delhi School of Economics and thereafter a PhD from Utah State University, USA. And I have close to almost 20... Not audible? Okay, so I have now close to 25 years of teaching and research experience. I've been right now working with Mahindra University, also visiting Indian School of Business at Hyderabad and Mohali campuses. I've been working as a consultant with various multilateral agencies, including World Bank, ADB, ADBI, WTO, and UNESCAP. So I teach statistics and econometrics, and the other subject I teach is development macroeconomics. Yeah. So basically what I'm going to do is, because I'm trained as an economist, I am going to focus on the data part. And I'm not going to give any projection, because the word disruption means at some point of time we are going to come back to the normal, in the sense that something we say as mean reverting, because even if you have a disruption from the current state of affairs, over a period of time, as we have heard, things are going to cool down, okay? So can I show some of the data through the slides that I have already shared? So can we go to the first slide? So when we are talking about disruption, basically we are talking about 2 or 3 different types of disruption. One, of course, has to do with your war. That is, so now the other is, of course, the tariff, So these are the 2 disruption that we have been hearing over the last few years. To start off with, over the last 4 years, as we have heard that we are facing the war with Russia, Ukraine-Russia war. And what is the implication of that? The implication, I still remember, before the start of the Russia-Ukraine war, I used to go to DMart. At that point of time, one bottle of vegetable oil or sunflower oil used to cost around 104 rupees, right? Or for that matter, mustard oil, the other things that we buy, I used to get it for 120 rupees. Soon that war broke, because most part of the sunflower oil and most part of the vegetable oil actually comes from that part of the world. And right now, yesterday when I went, of course, that has to some extent has to do with the war. Now I think the price of mustard oil has gone up to almost 180 rupees, the least, I'm saying. And the price of sunflower oil has gone up to 160 rupees, okay? So that to a common man is how a disruption related to war can lead to his, or eat down his purse, you know, because most of us who are having our livelihood, what impact us most is the price of food and vegetable oils, okay? The second thing is, which is to do with the disruption, has to do with the tariff war, right? Because this war sooner or later hopefully will end, come to an end. But what has started to happen because of after Mr. Trump took over as the president is we are shifting from a multipolar world to a unipolar world, in the sense that he is randomly taking decision without paying any heed even to his foes and allies, right? So what we are seeing at this point of time is China is actually building the bridges when US actually is breaking the bridges, you know. So for that matter, we have some opportunities in the sense that when you have this high tariff, there is something what we call the near-shoring or the friend-shoring, you know. So if some countries, for instance, when China was given a high tariff rate, what it does or what it did was they were shifting their factory base to the Southeast Asian region, in particular what we say the Greater Mekong region. So if I'm talking about Vietnam or Cambodia, we did a work for ADB where we found that most of the factories, furnitures, leather footwears, which are there in southeast part of Asia, are actually Chinese owned. You know, now if you go to Mexico, most of the automobile companies are actually Chinese car companies, be it Chery's, be it Baidu. So these are all Chinese big, even Morris Garage, you know, some of the companies that we drive around. So they have now their unit being shifted to Mexico, being shifted to Vietnam, being shifted to other part of Southeast Asia. Which goes into the manufacture of LPG and CNG are now getting diverted from few sectors, in particular pharmaceutical, in particular glass, in particular your packaging industry. Now packaging industry has a huge relevance for all the FMCG products, right? And I was talking to a friend of mine who is working with the Unilevers. They are saying that because of this LPG and CNG are getting diverted from the cement, packaging, and this alcohol and other industry, the immediate impact would be the increase in price, not because of increase in price of your gasoline or the petrol, but because of other intermediate inputs which are using this CNG and LPG, right? So because the way this packaging industry or the pharmaceutical industry work is you have a furnace, and if you have a furnace which is on, basically it takes almost a week time before you actually start the furnace to do your manufacturing activities. Now, because of disruption, what is going to happen is in some industry, the furnace is going to get closed down, which means that you're not going to get access to all this essential inputs, which goes in the your production of the final output. In particular, the sectors that I mentioned in FMCG, cements, and some of the energy-consuming sectors. So what is the outline of that? What is going to happen is you're going to see an indirect impact on the rise in price of basic essential items that we are seeing, unless and otherwise the war stops, okay? The other thing is impact of remittances you have mentioned. So basically we have 9 million workers in the Gulf region. And the last estimate suggests that almost $45 billion get remitted to India. So because of war, what is going to happen is that big remittance factor is going to get disrupted, right? If of course, it goes for a long period of time. Now, India, for some, historically, we have been taking a position that we are non-aligned, but very recently what we have seen is India is actually aligned to certain group of countries, Now, whether it's good, bad, ugly, it's too early to comment. But we have actually historically changed our position. Now, what would be the impact for that? Impact is the reason why India did that is we need to get access to technology. Because in terms of our per capita income, although we are going to become the third largest or fourth largest economy, but in terms of per capita income, we are still stuck in the 135th position in the world. Okay, so that is the problem, and one of the reasons is I have a slide to showcase, and before I showcase that, let me show you which group of countries actually get hit the most. So this is the data, and this is a source from World Bank. If I look into the population, GDP, and economies, okay, so compared to 2010, and so between 2010 and 19, 80% of the world population, okay, so the countries which are housing 80% of the world population, their growth rate has fallen to the extent of 60%. If I want just to compare the growth rate between, and of course you can argue that the reason 2024-25 the growth rate has shrunk has to do with the COVID or pandemic. The other reason being is, of course, the tariff and the war in the Russia and otherwise. So the matter of the fact remains, most of the countries which is housing almost 80% of the world population, they are facing the disruption. Now, even if you look into the trade uncertainty, it has spiked, so between 2000 and 2000, as latest as 2024, this is again the World Bank data, which shows that the trade policy uncertainty has increased. Now, when I say trade policy uncertainty, what I mean is the tariff rate which is being imposed on other countries, friendly or not for that matter, that friendly countries, it has increased. For instance, we all know that the liberalization day tariff, which was announced during April 4th by the US government, it actually increased the average tariff level for the US from 2% to almost we are also one of the largest exporters. So we are both importers as well as exporters. And the value addition lies in the fact that we import crude and export refined petroleum. That's how you have big companies like Adani and Reliance of the world. The other things is, which is a good thing, is our nature of exports. We are slowly going up from low technology intensive item to more value added high technology intensive item. For instance, if I look into the latest December data, which is released by the Ministry of Commerce, By the way, these are the data at the 4-digit level. So it's a aggregated data. If I go to the disaggregated data, which is at the 8-digit level, you will find that for the latest data suggests we are become the largest exporter of smartphones, within which Apple iPhone is almost contributing 60% of our total smartphones export. What is the second most item? It is the semiconductor and electronic items. Okay. So somehow we are getting the feeling that the PLI scheme, what the government has started initiating, is giving some results. Now the question is whether this result is getting absorbed in terms of higher value addition. Because there are critics which suggest that even if we are exporting lots of smartphones or electronic items, basically what we are doing is we are basically assembling rather than, because most part of the value addition comes from design and the technology in terms of the chips which are going to get inside this phone. So for instance, just to give you a number, China actually manufactures out of 180 different microchips which goes in the manufacture of Apple iPhone. 168 number of that gets manufactured in China. India right now is manufacturing only 12 of them. So there comes the idea between the value addition in terms of assembly vis-a-vis designing. So we, the government need to think about how to give more incentive in terms of R&D spending so that we are also getting there in terms of generating more value-added items. Okay. Now here is the good part of our Indian economy. This is taken from the latest Indian economic survey, and as you know that when we are talking about GDP, there are actually 5 components: consumption expenditure, government expenditure, investment, private investment expenditure, exports and import. That is something we teach our students. Now the point to note here is our consumption expenditure is almost 60% of our GDP, which means that in a way our Indian economy is resilient, right? Yeah, driven by domestic consumption. So that's the government data is suggesting, which is a fact and which is the good part of it, okay? Because no matter what happens, is our most part of the economic activities is driven by domestic industry, domestic consumption, domestic behavioral activities, right? Now, if I go further, the problem is not everyone is getting fair share of that benefit of the government policy, because the problem with India is our huge population, okay? Because even now we have roughly 1 billion population which lives. This is all the data that we get. This is something I was saying that in terms of per capita income between 1990 and 1923, we barely moved from 161 to, although we are the 4th largest economy, right? So all the august member of this group, we are in the fortunate half. We are in the best part, because even if you are looking to compare that with China, China has actually made a huge progress in spite of having a population which is similar to us. Because in terms of per capita income, ranking of per capita income, they moved from 158 to 75th position. Right now, the position for India is around 135 in terms of per capita income across the world. So there is something what the government can do, and I have some numbers which I want you to think about, because you are the people as a nation, we like to think about this, which is, this is adjusting for the purchasing power parity. Okay, so even if I'm taking into account the purchasing power parity, what it shows is these are some of the high productive economies around the world. Now, as you can understand that your income is directly related to your productivity, meaning that if you are more smart, you are going to earn more, as simple as that. Now, in this chart, and this is data is taken from International Labour Organization, you will find that most of the countries, their GDP per hour worked is valued at much higher numbers, almost $70, $80 per hour. This number for India is only $8 per hour. Okay, so the reason, one of the reasons is we still have a large section of our population in the agricultural sector, and the agricultural sector is highly fragmented, which means mechanization is not possible, which also means, by the logic is, because mechanization is not possible, you are still in the labor-intensive mode of production, and therefore the income return to the farmers are low. Which is the next big place for our income generation is the MSME sector. There also you'll find access to finance is a big problem, right? So all the government has started mudra loan and things like that. But even though now if we speak, there are very small mom and pop stores which do not have a clear book record, you know. And for you to get access to formal lending, you need to have a book record, which is not there, okay? So the other problem, and this is leading to huge income inequality, okay? So this is the reason why the government should step in. Okay, so this is, again, this is from the Bernstein report, 2025. In fact, you can see the number. If I'm looking into the very high net individual, okay, the very top, you have people earning as much as 40 crore rupees, okay? But if I'm looking into the 2% of the top 100, out of the 100%, top, the 3 percentile of the population. For me to be in the top 3 percentile, I have to have an income of around more than 50 lakhs or 60 lakhs rupees, okay? I'm saying that top 3%, not 1%. 1% will make your income around 1.6 crores, okay? So this is just to showcase that income inequality is a problem, and the government should find a way how to reduce the income inequality. And here is some of the thing that we have been talking about. The good thing is the government is spending a huge amount of money on capital expenditure. So for instance, if I look into the government budget, this year the government has allocated 55 lakh crores of rupees, okay, out of which 12 lakh crore of rupees is towards capital expenditure, which is building roads, ports, airports, which are great thing. But I think given our export numbers, given our experience from the PLI scheme, I think more numbers has to be allocated for the PLI sector. Just to give you an example, we are spending close to 1,75,000 crore of rupees on agriculture. But for the PLI scheme, we have allocated only 18,000 crore, you know. So compared to 55 lakh crores, that 18,000 crore out of 55 lakhs crore is, it's a needle in haystack, you know. So because we are getting some benefit out of the PLI scheme, in terms of our manufacturing capability getting transformed from low technology to high technology, I think it's a high time for the government to spend more money, to give more incentive to the PLI scheme so that there is a possibility of us creating more value added and therefore the income for the general people when we are talking about. Out of this 12 lakh crore rupees, almost 5.5 thousand crore rupees is spent on railway, metro and roadways. Here also, if you see the additional value addition of creating one more kilometer of metro or railway or roadway line, it is less compared to if I were to allocate this money for green energy, if I were to allocate this money for semiconductor industry, if I were to allocate this money for R&D activities. So the thing is the government has good intention, but you have to actually showcase where you're getting much more higher return when you're spending $1 unit of worth of rupees. So the idea is you have to spend now money on energy transition, data centers, AI, rather than, although you are allocating 12 lakh crores, all we are suggesting is why not try to allocate a bigger portion of that 12 lakh crores on areas where the value addition, which will help you to increase your productivity, okay? And therefore, we can bridge this income inequality that we are seeing at this point of time. So, yeah.
You said you need to invest more in PLI rather than in agriculture. PLI is a production-linked incentive.
Right.
How long this hand-holding continues? Because you know you are giving and they're not providing jobs also. That's what the government is saying. You said inequality and you said per capita GDP is not good. And per capita GDP, you know, everybody should get employment, at least 90% of the people. Are they getting? Why are they not getting? Government cannot provide employment to all these people. Private sector should provide. government is getting agitated because these PLIs are not performing. They are saying demand is not there, so we are not producing. Production is not there. Why demand is not there? Again, they're not consuming. All the cars and all plateaued. No? Middle class, they don't buy many cars.
Madam, I have another set of data, which is basically showcasing that it's not only the corporate, because now you have the AI and capital intensive. So, for instance, earlier to manufacture 1 ton of steel, if you go to the Jamshedpur steel plant, I don't have the data, I can share that with you. They required close to 40,000 people working for a month. Now that number has shrunk to less than 10,000.
Yeah, that's the reason universal basic income should be provided.
Yeah, so that's what we are trying to.
Sir, I have a point, sir, please. What is the subject of the discussion? I think we deviated per capita income and all that. Our economy in the context of global war now. That is the subject. We are losing that, we are talking many things.
No, so I'll come back.
Can't we be brief? If every person takes half an hour to 45 minutes, that's very big tender. And topic is economy in the context of global war now.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay,
I'm trying to find out where I am.
Yeah.
I don't know. What is the per capita income? Per capita income isn't that? Is it the discussion now?
No, I think global thing he's talking about.
No, I'm trying to. I'm trying to.
Sir, see, we should be brief. In about 3-4 points, we should be able to put our point.
Yeah, so
I am a teacher. Because that's why we have to put. Not describing everything and losing the point.
No, I've already mentioned that.
I'm sorry, not you. You are correct. But I am asked.
No,
I am asked, what is it I am hearing? What is the subject? You please tell me.
The subject is how the.
Global war. Have you touched up the global war?
No.
Where do we stand?
No. I think let him finish, sir. Let him finish. Let him finish. So he will. No, let him finish. I'm saying.
I'm sorry for the discussion.
No. That's okay.
I'm basically trying to argue how. Yeah. So basically, yeah. Okay. So the topic is because of the war, it's going to create inflation, which is going to impact us. But what we are trying to argue is it's going to impact the lower income household more compared to the middle or the higher income household. And what are the factors that the government should do or can do in order to increase our per capita income? That's all I'm trying to say. And yeah, I'll stop here. Maybe I have given, and these are some of the reforms that you can undertake in the future. So thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, sir. I think a lot of people are there. So I think if you can brief, everybody be brief, so it will be good.
And I think my request to all the speakers is to keep the focus on the global war. What steps to be taken by the Indian government?
No, I don't need more than 10 minutes.
Okay.
Sir, with regarding this war, definitely war is going to disturb everybody, not only the Indian, but also every country will be affected, more or less. But the war situation is more effective, it will give more effect to the people involved and the less and the people who are dependent on the countries. See, recently we have seen the news in TV channels. They are saying that there is a shortage of gas, there is a shortage of CNG, LNG, petrol, all these things. The fake news are coming in the news channels. We have to protect ourselves from fake news, false narratives, and also artificial shortage created by dealers. Yesterday they were discussing a TV channel. They were saying the dealers are supplying at the double price. What is the market, the registered price? It means the prescribed price. So I told them, when they are selling at double price, why not be available? When it is available only, they are selling at double price. Means they are creating artificial shortage. It should be the duty, the other person is saying that it should be the duty of the central government to see that it is sold on the prescribed price. But what is the local administration doing? Local administration has to take care of these artificial shortages, fake news, false narratives, all these things. They have to take care of that. That the local administration has to take care of that. And local, any person has to take that, if it was government or party or media or anything like that.
We'll certainly appoint it. And central government should request all state governments to act
and
on
this unwanted panic is created. Unwanted panic.
PDS and distribution comes under state government.
Already some campaign is being run, saying like, don't believe this propaganda, but the gas is...
Unwanted panic is created among the people, consumers.
What it is, 1 month interval between two gas stations.
Okay.
And,
Small point, sir. A small point.
and one more thing, sir.
Administrative measures.
Yes.
Central or state.
Yes.
Is short term.
Yes.
We are not talking about those things right now. What we are talking about is what is the challenge to our economy?
And how it should be handled.
How, not short term measures. It can be rectified. How can we address our economic structure in such a manner that in the future, whenever we face all of these problems again, we will not have any serious impact.
Yes.
We are on the right path.
I am coming to that also, sir.
Increase of productivity means better use of resources available. Maybe financial resources, natural resources, human resources, whatever thing. But increase of productivity, that's the most important. It is the responsibility of the commercial activity. Even the spending that is saving will increase. Saving will increase with investment will increase. So lavish, unproductive expenses could be reduced. This is the responsibility of every citizen. Unwanted expenses should be reduced so that they can go for more savings. And one thing is import substitution. The most important is to import substitution also most important. Means we have to go for Swadeshi. Other manufacturer in India. But if you benefit not only to the consumer but also to the investor who will invest the money, the people will get employment, and after the resource suppliers will get better price. But the three benefits will come with the using the local productions. And one more thing is that
exports more labor-intensive sectors, agriculture, textiles, and what we call diamonds also. All these are labor-oriented industry. That should be given more priority for exports, so that people will get employment, and also our export will be benefited, and our import substitution will come down. Current account deficit also will come down. One more thing is de-dollarization. We should concentrate more on dealing with local currencies. If you are importing from one country, we can make payments through that country currency. So the de-dollarization will give reduce the dependence on dollarization. That's the most important thing we can do. One more thing, sir. We should take, our government is consistently telling that there should not be a war. There should be diplomacy and what we'll call. They're saying the diplomacy can be placed instead of going for war. The same way, peace is the foundation for prosperity. Everywhere the peace should be means established. That is the peace means not only government's level, even local level also. The disturbance should not be there. Maybe in the form of what we'll call physical or mental, psychological. Anything should not be there. That should be taken care of. And one thing is capital expenditure. We should spend more on capital expenditure. The government is spending more on capital expenditure. Even individually also, we should contribute more our investments in financial assets rather than idle assets. Idle assets mean unproductive assets, maybe gold or open plots. In my country, in my view, gold is also idle investment. But if you go for financial assets, maybe shares, bonds, bank deposits, postal savings, all this will be used for investments in other sector. Maybe somebody else that will create wealth, that will give you employment, that will make the economy strong. These should be the precautions to be taken in the long run and for the better future. This is my observation. Thank you for giving me opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Sir.
Yeah. Just want to reiterate the context of the session today. Most of you attended the pre-budget session also, a month or a month and a half back. From then till now, what has changed is we signed a lot of trade agreements. We assumed that the world has improved for India. In the sense, we were on the right path. Then suddenly, this war in the West Asia, they has completely changed our thinking right now. Not even sure whether our budget is relevant anymore. In the sense, only in terms of expenditure we are okay, but whether it will meet our economic goals, we are not sure. So how do we structure or restructure or rethink on whether we should cut down our economic objective, not just growth, sir, just economic objectives in general, or what should we do to stay on the context in which we organize this meeting?
So, name, welcome back. Ms. Shivayogi Ballava Sahu.
Thank you so much. Audible? Thank you so much. Myself is Sibjogi Ballava Sahu. I have around 28 years of work experience, and I studied from IIM Calcutta, then I went to UC Berkeley. My specialization is on entrepreneurship and innovation. I started a very good initiative called Human Potential Development Science. That's what I'm focusing for last almost all 12 years. And I'll set the agenda. I like being a Sivjogi, and I understand the Vedic culture very well. So what Chairman Hanuman Rao told, war is as normal as live stream. That is one. And we have seen war Indians or the so-called Bharatiya from Lord Ram days. Ram के राज्य से हम लोग वो war देखे हुए. Then Krishna days, what you also suggested, Kurukshetra. So Indians are fighters, so war is a normal for Indians. And other thing is, I want to talk about how the transaction economy. We are all talking about X, Y, Z. I'm not focused on that. I'm more focused on that, how the transaction economy to be transformed to be innovation economy in this wartime. I'll give you one example. Indian economy is an oil economy. When I was at the age of 21, one of my cousin, he was the secretary, Ashok Sahu, Ministry of Finance, Expenditure Department. I'm very openly telling you. I asked him why India is depending on oil, why is importing so much? Because he told, we fought with all the government. Because India economy is driven by oil. You just think, tears are coming my eyes. This government, all previous government, they never focused how the Indian economy shouldn't depend on oil. Look at, you go to every petrol pump, how much of, what is the real petrol price and how much the all other taxes are there. How the state economy as well as the central economy is running. That is number one fact. I'm just trying to talk about that. That should be changed to innovation economy. What other part you are mentioning also, which is very serious in this country, which is communication device economy we are running down. Every dependency, communication device. I know all of our mobiles, what we are talking in this room is getting recorded by Israel agencies. I can prove that. My phone is recorded by NIA. I can give that proof. So every device, all your home, stock market, so cyber security, what you are talking about, we should very seriously take it very serious. what my focus, maybe you can show my presentation, what we call deep tech. Every equipment, what we call all our phones, every equipment we are getting imported from China. And they, like, you don't know what exactly something is there hidden behind that. That's what my suggestion. We should be more serious now, which was now in 90s, which India should be serious about the oil economy, which all this challenge will be there. So we should be serious more on the what we call cyber security, which shouldn't affect our life tomorrow. Every equipment is getting imported, whether ISRO, I don't know which are all departments, any computers, anything. So how the Indian economy can be transitioned from a transaction economy to innovation economy. And that is what the focus should be there. And as somebody was telling, people can't avoid US. Isolation of US is impossible. Every IP, intellectual property right, is owned by them. Even if all lights, everything, whatever you use, nothing is so-called XYZ countries. It should be very clear. And other parties, whatever we are talking about, and even Haldi also, IP is by US. Every food product, every FMCG, every electronics, every communication. So what is left in this world? Nothing. Even if we are talking, whatever the equipments we are using, which company, maybe, I don't know, maybe Ahuja, maybe we are talking about Ahuja, some of the license fees or royalty fees they must be paying to somebody in US. Otherwise, they can't manufacture. So, cyber security, which is very important, what we use all the Chinese equipment. So how we can manufacture, how the Indian economy can be, like what we are talking about the deep tech, the dependency should be low. And whatever the macro factors, like all the deficit, purchasing power, money supply, and the micro factor, consumption, all those dependencies, this is all our metacognitive factors. And economists of India, they never played a good role. And I'll tell you, some gentleman was talking about some reports, Bernstein report, why Indians are not preparing our own Indian reports. Why you are naming about Bernstein? Why you are talking about ILO? Maybe Modi ji is there for last 10 years, 11 years. I met him 2007, he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. When I was the part of 108 services. It took only one day to take a decision for rolling out 108 services. One day. I was there in that meeting. So we need more people who can take instant decision. So maybe all these, whatever, maybe I agree with you, sir. And we are all talking about the data. Data is paralyzing Indians. We shouldn't think. Maybe you can go through, maybe presentation. We need grades. We need grades, IIT grades. IITs are meant for nothing. It's creating employment for US MNCs. IIMs, though I'm from IIM, I know what it was meant for IIMs. Maybe NITs, what NITs are meant for that. I'm openly telling. And look at the Indian economy. War is going on. Why should Mukesh Ambani declare $300 billion US investment? Who had given him permission? Who had given him permission in this country? No, sir. No, sir. No, that's fine. I'm just telling the other way. Economy factor perspective, not rather perspective. India needs investment. India needs investment. Maybe when you are talking the capitalistic point of view, we should stick. We shouldn't talk wrong about America. All our employment, all GCCs, Indian economy depends on America and Middle East. Look at the IT jobs, all IT jobs. That's what IT people, they don't care who's there in the government. Because their salaries are paid by all the American companies. Why should they care government of India? What is benefit government of India is giving them? Bangalore, no roads. Hyderabad, traffic. Chennai, I'm just telling you openly. So how we have to bring municipal innovations, good traffic control systems. I'm talking about the innovation. How the large number of innovations can come to be large. We are talking about the smart cities. So how innovation is important, I'm not talking about the other part. So this dependency, livelihoods, when you are depending on US or global American companies, they own all the IPs. Wells Fargo, IBM. You look at, I'm not justifying, I'm telling how the Indian economy is depending on American economy. So we are a transaction economy, we have transaction skills, we don't have transformation skills, we don't have excellence skills. Indians are good traders, so they'll have transaction. Here and there they do. I was there in Berkeley. I have, yes, sir. I'm just talking on context of one, how the economy can be transitions. Okay? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I have also worked in Silicon Valley. So what I would like to say is, I recently attended the Global Air Committee. So what you are saying is, yeah, that used to be the scenario, but now it's completely changed.
And the Indian-made Sarvam is going to compete with the large-scale LLM models of Google's and the Microsoft's. Okay, their error rate is matching to the global benchmarks. So things are changing. Okay,
I'll come to you.
Let me finish.
What you are talking about?
Sir, let me finish, sir. And second thing, yes, we are structurally exposed to these oil economies. Okay, yes. But you'll all be happy to hear that our 50% of energy is now generated by green energy, which is solar, wind. Okay, 500 gigawatts of renewable energy by 2030. So we are structurally shifting ourselves from moving from this oil economy to self-sufficiency. As he said, sun is there for us to protect all of us, and that is going to happen. And third, you said we are a trading economy. We are not transformational. I will give you an example. UPI. Isn't that the transformational? UPI has transformed everything. Today. Sir.
But it has taken a lot of transformation. A couple of points, as you rightly said. Please complete.
Yeah, sir. UPI. So UPI is changing, and since I'm a BRICS country's energy convener, sir, we are building energy stack. Just like UPI, this energy stack is going to transform the complete grid. Huh? No, just like 1-2 minutes he said, like, we are not transforming, we are transforming with the energy stack, where you are whatever solar power you generate, you can sell to him. Okay? So anyway, I will...
please.
Huh?
I agree with you. All UPI, ONDC, X, Y, Z, fine. But this is all building the transaction economy. And the other part, if you look at, next part you look at, what is the dependencies are there. I'm hearing people, how much of Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, where is money is going? Snapchat and Google. Where our money is going? The innovation we are talking, I'm fine. I'm talking about we have to focus more in the challenge, wartime. So oil economy, we have to focus more on the innovation economy. And other part, if you look at what Bharat momentum should be there, it should be more on...
Sahuji, focus again, come back to topic.
Yes, sir. My focus is, sir, in this time, we should more focus on deep tech. We should suggest government. There is a very small investment or budget is there for R&D, 0.5. It should increase to more than 2%. If you want to come from 39 position in world innovation ranking to next 5 years to 5th or 6th, which you are looking at will be top 3.
Ballabji, all these points are relevant for a long term. Today in a crisis, what we are passing through, what is immediate actions we should take? I mean, in the sense, cyber security is very important point. That's perfectly right.
Yes.
And fake, all this fake media, all that we have to control. You have to see that other point mentioned, with
But
regard
sir,
to
that
the.
is social engineering who allows?
No, they're not
Yes.
a theoretical. I'm talking
Yes.
practical steps to be done.
Yes.
Deep tech US dependency, I mean, it's nowhere not relevant in the situation. But coming to a point which you mentioned, very important, why Reliance should invest in US at this point? Let me be very honest with you. Reliance is doing not only, it will help us in terms of petroleum self-sufficient to us, since our Indian company is there in the oil, there, number one. Number two, the maize conversion to refined products. So, technically, politically, it will help Trump to soothe him, and it will help us. I'm leaving it. So, it is not that it will not going to help us. Let us not get into why they have invested. But limited point is in this war situation.
Yes.
If you ask me in terms of diplomacy, Reliance investment is right decision for diplomacy at this point of time. So that we have to win over Trump to keep him at neutral. As earlier speaker said, we are getting into aligned from non-aligned. I don't think we are getting aligned. We are non-aligned. I'm leaving it. So let us not get into merits and demerits.
I'll close it.
Let us not talk into merits and demerits. Let us focus on what we should do now.
I'll close it. So whatever this oil economy was there, so government should focus more on the cyber security or the communication issues.
Very important right now.
That is very important. We have to focus more on deep tech. Otherwise, after 10 years, we'll be sitting together, we'll think. So this is a very good suggestion. That is what we are trying to do, this Bharat Enterprise Innovation Lab initiative, creating various grades. That's what I know, I have seen many of my friends who suggested if India will not focus now, then the serious threat for this country, for the communication devices, cyber security. Thank you.
I agree with you that innovation part. And in the R&D, in AI Summit, they increased the budget also, government also increased the budget. And it is the near problem, not far problem, because we have two hostile neighbors. They may wage war at any time. The attacks will be, now the warfare is in the air, not on the land. Nobody is sending boots on the ground. So we need to have very, sophisticated technology to know what is happening and whereabouts. So it is immediate necessity. What you said, it is not 10 years period or over a period. That's what I think.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are made only in the DRDO Hyderabad. They have semiconductor capacity which is not known to outsiders. So all the war-related semiconductor chips, missiles going, everything is done in India at Hyderabad, number one. Just to clarify, it is not a public news. And second, massive investment is coming in semiconductor. Almost the factory of Murugappa and Tata have started. 6 months they are starting, for your information. So that will start exporting chips, not far away, in 1 year. So you should thank whatever points you are making. I mean, again, don't brand me as a BJP man, but no. You should thank, and being Modi supporter, we should thank, we have taken steps in that direction, many steps.
Fine, sir.
Oh, good. Next, Prabhakar.
Sir, I'll give you one something. I was there in Advantage Assam. Even if I am investing there $200 million in Assam. So I have seen the investment, but where exactly that investment is coming? People should also know about it.
Yeah, good evening all. Yeah, yes. Yeah, respected Chair, Hanuman Chaudhary sir, and Murthy Garu, all dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. My presentation is very brief. I will take only 4 to 5 minutes, and there are 3 to 4 slides. I am trying to focus on the topic only. When I say that the global economic, can you start the PPT?
I have 3-4 slides, very small one. Yeah. If I say the global economic order is undergoing change because of 2-3 triggers, you all know that geopolitical reasons, trade compulsions, then the Trump's administration, the condescending behavior of Trump, and finally adding some more things like impact of AI and other reasons, we have been experiencing a kind of different situation. But I want to say that despite all these things, Indian economy is resilient, able to cope with this situation. What should be done from our side? I am going to focus in the last slide. That's very important. And given the 6 points in the circulation by the organizers, I am happy that I am trying to, say something on one heading, understanding the new global economic order. What are the strategies that we need to think it over? Next. Yeah, I have taken 2 data sets, and one is from Quant Eco Research economists who have predicted like this. It's not that bad. At the same time, we cannot be, just watching it. In case I am looking at only crude oil prices and its impact on the economy, particularly on Indian economy, how it is going to behave. And economic variables like crude oil prices, it was 70 rupees in 2026 fiscal year, 70 pre-war. Post-war, if it is 80, 90, 100. In this case, if it increases like this, what will be the impact on GDP growth, CPI inflation, current account balance as a percent of GDP, and rupee exchange rate? So first one is growth rate. Now that we have been experiencing 7.6, it might come down to 6.6 to 6.8 pre-war. And in 2027 post-war situation, we might experience slightly a decline in the growth rate from 6.5 to 6.7 and finally 6% to 6.2%. And next is CPI inflation, consumer price index inflation. Now we have 2%. It might go up to 4% and it might increase to 4.2, 4.6 and finally 5.1. Anyway, we have some measures to be taken, and RBI is watching these things. I am sure it will not go to that extent. Next, yeah, I am moving ahead. Yeah, same numbers. Current account balance as a percent of GDP is minus 1.1% now. It might go up to minus 2.2. Lastly, rupee exchange rate might increase. Correct. But we are not sure of it.
Yeah, good.
In 100. Case crude oil price increases from 70 to 80, 80 to 90, 90 to 100, it's a kind of prediction. Then it will be like this. Yeah. This is being predicted by one particular group.
No, I also mentioned the same numbers.
Yeah, same. Yeah. And another thing is that DSP mutual funds people are talking about it. Given the portfolio outflows from $11.8 billion in 2025 to $4 billion in 2026 so far, that has really created a kind of alarm in the minds of the people. That is one small concern. And in Indian economy right now, because the way the funds are going out, we will have a tough time. Oil trade deficit might reach to $220 billion. Current account deficit might reach to 3.1%. This is another picture given by the another study, DSP mutual funds. And it might lead to a kind of inflation and liquidity crunch. Prior, we had a very good GDP in 25-26, which was 6.7 in the first quarter. Then again 8.4. July-September. During July-September 2025, we had a very good growth rate. And the final quarter, 7.8%. So, now I would like to bring it to your notice that given the change in base year, that is constant prices, we have considered 2024, our inflation rate will be 2.75 in January 2026. So, nothing to worry. It is well under control. RBI has predicted medium-term target kept is something around 4%, if I remember correctly. So, we are well below the medium-term target. I am sure it will not go beyond it. Now, if you look at the consequences like situation like this, what should be done? Globalization should continue as no country has self-reliance in its functioning. It is like, we are led by a particular...
This projection is keeping the
Crude
after the war.
Yeah.
When our was there, these projections are there.
During and after. During and after. In the first slide, sir, I have given.
These projections, calculations are all before the war took place. After the impact, what is the impact?
Sir, I చెప్పేది సార్ ఒక్క నిమిషం సార్
Yeah.
ప్రభాకర్ గారు ఐ ఆన్సర్ సార్ ఆయన చెప్పింది ఏంటంటే ఒక్క నిమిషం అండి అలా కాదు అది ఆయన ఏం చెప్తున్నారు
సార్
ఆయన ఏం చెప్పారంటే ఒక్క నిమిషం సార్ $100 వెళ్తే $100 వెళ్తే అది తగ్గుతుందని చెప్పారు
సార్ ఒక్కసారి సార్ ప్లీజ్ సార్ ప్లీజ్ ఒకసారి చూడండి అంటే
ఇంకా ప్రొలాంగ్ అయ్యేటంటే అవకాశం ఉందని చెప్పేసి ఇండికేషన్స్ నేను ఎంత కాలాడో పోతా అంటున్నాడు ఇరాన్ అమెరికా సంపేస్తా అంటున్నాడు ఇరాన్ వాడు అన్ని అబద్ధాలు మాట్లాడుతున్నాడు వాడు ఎవడు అమెరికా వాడు అమెరికా రిక్వెస్ట్ చేస్తాను నేను రిక్వెస్ట్ చేసి వాడితో మాట్లాడడం లేదు మాట్లాడాలంటున్నాడు వాడు 4% ఆఫ్ అమెరికన్స్ ఆర్ సపోర్టింగ్ నౌ ట్రంప్ 4% సారీ 25%. వాడు దాంతో ఏం చేస్తారు అన్ని అబద్ధాలు ఆడుతున్నాడు ఆ అబద్ధాలు పట్టుకొని మనం క్యాల్కులేషన్ చేస్తున్నాం ఏదో చేస్తున్నాం
ఓకే సార్ ఓకే అగ్రీడ్ అంటే కాదు అవును యా ఓకే సార్ నేను ఒక పదం చెప్పడం మర్చిపోయాను దీస్ ఆర్ ఇమీడియట్ రిఫ్లెక్షన్స్ దీస్ ఆర్ నైదర్ దే ఆర్ ఎగ్జాస్టివ్ నార్ కంప్లీట్ it is only to give focus on some kind of discussion. So what I think is tentatively, sir, last slide. India has a major supply chain system that is required by many economies including USA. MSMEs can prove to be a catalyst in Bharat as it has very good employment potential and contribution to GDP. And one of the important things that we need to look at is that skill enhancement on a war footing basis. If at all you want to take the advantage, demographic dividend, you need to focus on skill enhancement because we have very limited people. Only 4% of the workforce is skilled, whereas in a European nations it is 60-65. And the need is so much in India. And even the existing graduates, let's say 100 people, 50% are finding a difficult situation because of existing and expected skill gap. And next is changes in education system. We need to, by following the NEP 2020, I am saying few things finished. And what I want to say is that our knowledge economy, which we call it as a higher education system, that need to undergo changes. Like it has to transform into a different kind of education system altogether. Say making that. It should be a technology-ready human resource. Demand-driven courses need to be offered. And then next is that we need to have academy and industry collaboration and internationalization of education and so on.
So, Prabhakar Reddy garu, all these things at different levels the government is trying to do.
Yes.
Only the limited point is how we can take care of the present situation. I can understand if the dollar goes to 100, oil goes to $100, you have given the right number. That's okay. That's okay. So therefore, but as our other brother says, in case,
I say, while maintaining the private final consumption expenditure, which we have seen just now 60%, reducing unwarranted expenditure at both the levels will be needed for us, because in view of the portfolio outflows and foreign direct investment and so on, we will have a fund crunch, investment crunch. Therefore, we need to have savings plus something else. So therefore, we need to focus on more savings, more investment and more economic growth. That we should focus on. Second one is looking for alternatives replacing crude oil. It could be solar power or electric vehicles and so on. Third one is efforts to enhance the rupee transaction in international market. As it is, we have already started, we are going ahead, we are doing very well, UPI, and rupee has been accepted by many countries. Reducing the consumption of fossil fuels, because the multidimensional poverty index report 2025 has already mentioned that poverty and climate hazards, two things will result in a kind of burden on the people. Therefore, we need to focus on reducing or avoiding consumption of fossil fuels, and then use of special rupee Vostro accounts. We know pretty well that we are using special rupee Vostro accounts. They need to be strengthened, given push, so that more and more transactions will take place by using the rupee.
Opening is taking a lot of time.
Yeah.
Vostro account, there's so much of formality, so much of RBI to RBI, regulator to regulator, they have to open Vostro account, taking time. And that's the reason
Yes.
we could open only 3 countries, so it is
Yeah.
taking time. Yeah.
Sir, next is again, skill enhancement and encouragement to the entrepreneurial abilities. Lastly, efforts to ensure self-reliance. So these are some of the immediate reflections that I wanted to share with you. In case if the situation, global economic order changes and we proceed further into a different kind of situation, we need to focus on all these things.
Thank you. Thank you, Babakaran. Thank you.
So, on behalf of Pragna Bharati, let me just again restate. I think there is a slight confusion or there is a communication gap in the topic and the discussion that is expected, and what we are generally hearing today is relevant in all other contexts. But in today's context, in the environment that we are in, I think we need to discuss a few other things also. I think that communication gap, if there is any, and if we were not able to send across that right information to you, on behalf of Pragna Bharati, we apologize. So, Manohar Rao garu, please excuse, it is not their fault. I think it's a complex subject itself. I think a little patience, and maybe we are going to. There are points here, yeah. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Surya.
Yeah, this is talking about relevant marketing, right? I would like to know, because of the depreciation and also the oil price, FPI and FCI, the money that dividends that are going to come up because of this war. So how are we going to cope up with this foreign currency, FPI and FCI? I was wondering that.
And also NRI remittances.
That I think it is already being said about the problem. Now what we need to focus is what is that, like sir was saying, what is the policy suggestions in this forum we can make to the government.
Because of that, right, we have got something called GIFT, where international investors, just like in London, Singapore, they can come and invest in a GIFT city, any of the currencies, local currencies or something like that, or the foreign currency order, where we are encouraging tax, not like, they have to pay capital gains and all that. So that kind of a mechanism where we attract
all the foreign institutional investors, so that that will offset some of the losses that we are making. So one is we should kind of quickly promote the gift city in a big way. They are doing some work, but much more needs to be done. Second big area, sir.
That has been there since long. What decade, more than decade.
No. I mean.
What is today? What are the
No, the gifts is there, but we need to improve, sir.
We have been working and lots of money.
No, financial instruments has to be there, sir. Second is, now, as the madam also said, right, jobs is a big criteria, okay? Now with all these losses and everything, so the unicorns, the startups, how do we kind of take advantage of startups in promoting these drone manufacturing, the deep tech which he's talking about, and also the various electronic manufacturing. So that trust, startup trust for facing all these war kind of scenarios. And second, institutional investments from all over the world towards attracting towards GIFT City. These are the 2 points that I would like to make.
Okay.
Tiger, please.
Hello everybody, Andarki Namaskaram. Actually, I'm here to listen to the people, eminent personalities' words actually. కానీ కొన్ని విషయాలు నాకు ఇప్పుడు యాక్చువల్లీ కాంటెక్స్ట్ సెట్ చేయడానికి కొన్ని చెప్పాలనిపించింది నాకు కూడా. సార్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఈ రౌండ్ టేబుల్ లేదా ఈ కాన్ఫరెన్స్ దీన్ని స్టార్ట్ చేసేటప్పుడు హనుమాన్ చౌదరి గారు చాలా పర్ఫెక్ట్ మాటతో స్టార్ట్ చేశారు. యాక్చువల్లీ వార్స్ అనేవి మనకు కొత్త కాదు, శివతాండవం దగ్గర నుంచి అనేక అంశాలు చెప్పారు. సో నిజానికి యుద్ధం పట్ల ఈరోజు ఈ జనరేషన్కి అవేర్నెస్ని పెంచడం అనేది మొట్టమొదటి సజెషన్ ఏమో అని నాకు అనిపిస్తుంది. అసలు మనకు అవేర్నెస్ ఫస్ట్, అసలు యుద్ధం అంటే ఏంటి, వార్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, వార్ వల్ల జరిగే ప్రయోజనాలు ఏంటి, వార్ వల్ల కోల్పోయేదేంటి, ఈ విషయంలో కన్ఫ్యూజన్ ఈ ఇండియన్ సొసైటీలో ఎక్కువగా ఉంది. ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ సెకండ్ వరల్డ్ వార్ టైంలో ఒక్క రేడార్ టెక్నాలజీ రావడంతో జర్మన్ ఎయిర్ ఫోర్స్ని బ్రిటన్ కొట్టగలిగింది. అది గేమ్ చేంజర్ ఇన్ ద సెకండ్ వరల్డ్ వార్. ఒక్క న్యూక్లియర్ వెపన్ని తీసుకురావడంతో మొత్తం గేమ్ ఒక 70-80 years వరకు అమెరికా ఫస్ట్ సుప్రీం పవర్గా ఉండగలిగింది. సో ఒక యుద్ధం ఎంతగా మార్చగలిగింది, మొత్తం సిస్టమ్స్లో ఈక్వేషన్స్ అంతా మార్చగలిగింది. యుద్ధం ఎప్పుడు కూడా మన దేశంలో ఏంటంటే మొదటి నుంచి గాంధీయన్ ఐడియాలజీ వలన ఏంటో కానీ ఒక శాంతి 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 అని చెప్తారు, పీస్ అనే ఒక మాట తీసుకొస్తున్నారు. బట్ పీస్ అనే మాటతోటి పక్కన ఈరోజు జరుగుతున్నటువంటి వార్ఫేర్ చూస్తే ఫైట్ 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 అంటిల్ యూ లాస్ట్ బ్రెత్ వరకు కూడా నువ్వు ఫైట్ చేయని ఏదైతే ఒక ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ ఉందో అది ఈరోజు వార్ని నడిపిస్తోంది. ఇరాన్ వితౌట్ హ్యావింగ్, వాళ్ళకేం టామహాక్ మిజైల్స్ లేవు, B-2 బాంబర్స్ లేవు, వాళ్ళ దగ్గర పెద్ద థర్డ్ ఎయిర్ డిఫెన్స్ సిస్టమ్ లేదు, S-400లు లేవు. కానీ ఈరోజు యుఎస్ని ఎంత ఇబ్బంది పెట్టాలో, ఒక సూపర్ పవర్ని ఎంత ఇబ్బంది పెట్టాలో అంత ఇబ్బంది పెడుతోంది. అండ్ ఈరోజు ఇరాన్ ఈరోజుకి నిన్న ట్రంప్ లేదా వాళ్ళ నుంచి వచ్చినటువంటి స్టేట్మెంట్, మేము అసలు ఊరికే జాలితోటి దయదలిచి ఇరాన్ మీద మేము దాడి చేయలేదు, వాళ్ళ పవర్ గ్రిడ్స్ కొట్టలేదు అని చెప్పాడు. ఇది కొట్టి చూడండి, పవర్ గ్రిడ్స్ కొట్టండి, విత్ ఇన్ ½ an hour మీ గల్ఫ్ రీజియన్ మొత్తాన్ని మేము అంధకారంలోకి నెట్టేస్తామని ఇరాన్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఇచ్చింది. సో వాళ్ళ జియో స్ట్రాటజిక్ లొకేషన్స్, వాళ్ళకు ఉన్న అవగాహన, జియో స్ట్రాటజిక్ ఏదైతే మనకి ఇప్పుడు చూస్తే ఇప్పుడు అసిమెట్రిక్ వార్ఫేర్ నడుస్తోంది. ఒక థర్డ్ రేడార్ సిస్టమ్ని ఒక డ్రోన్స్తో కొట్టగలిగారు వాళ్ళు, మిజైల్స్తో కొట్టగలిగారు, చిన్న మిజైల్స్తో కొట్టగలిగింది ఇరాన్. అసిమెట్రిక్ వార్ఫేర్, పెద్ద పెద్ద ఎక్విప్మెంట్ అక్కర్లేదు, B-2 బాంబర్స్ లాంటి పెద్ద జెట్స్ అక్కర్లేదు, కానీ చాలా సింపుల్ టెక్నాలజీస్ తోటి $20,000 $30,000 డ్రోన్స్ తోటి ఎంత డ్యామేజ్ చేస్తున్నారో మనం చూస్తున్నాం. సో రాబోయే రోజుల్లో భారతదేశం దానికి రెడీగా ఉందా? సో మనం దానికి సిద్ధంగా ఉన్నాము. ఈరోజు యుక్రెయిన్ని, జెలెన్స్కీని పక్కన కూర్చుండబెట్టి డొనాల్డ్ ట్రంప్ ఆయన అవమానించింది మర్చిపోలేదు. బట్ సేమ్ యుక్రెయిన్ని ఇవాళ సాయం అడుగుతున్నారు. యుక్రెయిన్ యాంటీ డ్రోన్ సిస్టమ్ ఈరోజు గల్ఫ్ రీజియన్లోకి వస్తుంది, స్టింగ్ యాంటీ డ్రోన్ సిస్టమ్ వాళ్ళ దగ్గర లేదు. ఇప్పుడు వాళ్ళు ఖర్చు పెడుతున్నారు. $20,000తో డ్రోన్స్తో కొడితే ఇక్కడ నుంచేమో $1 million పైన ఖర్చు పెడితే కానీ దాన్ని ఇంటర్సెప్ట్ చేయలేని పరిస్థితి. సో వార్ మార్చేసింది, ఎకానమిక్స్ మొత్తం మార్చేసింది, వార్ ఎకానమిక్సే మారిపోయాయి. మిలిటరీ ఇండస్ట్రియల్ కాంప్లెక్స్ ఏదైతే ఉందో వాళ్ళ డాక్ట్రైన్స్ చేంజ్ చేసుకునే పరిస్థితిలోకి వచ్చారు. సో రష్యా ఉక్రెయిన్ వార్, ఈవెన్ టుడే ఇరాన్ వార్ అది నేర్పిస్తోంది. సో మనం ఎక్విప్ అయినామా దానికి తగ్గట్టుగా, నెంబర్ 1. నెంబర్ 2, జియో స్ట్రాటజిక్ లొకేషన్స్ విషయంలో మనకు కొంచెం క్లారిటీ పెంచుకోవాలేమో పాత రోజుల నుంచి ఇప్పటి వరకు. సో చాలాసార్లు పెద్దలు చెప్తూ ఉంటారు ఎప్పుడు కూడా, మనం వార్స్ మన ట్రై ఫోర్సెస్ వార్ గెలుస్తూ ఉన్నాయి, కానీ గవర్నమెంట్స్ ఓడిపోతున్నాయి. 47 టైంలో కాశ్మీర్ లోపలికి వచ్చారు, మనం అడ్వాంటేజెస్ పొజిషన్లో ఉన్నప్పుడు యునైటెడ్ నేషన్స్కి వెళ్ళాడు నెహ్రూ. 65లోకి వచ్చేసరికి హాజీపీర్ పాస్ని మనం క్యాప్చర్ చేశాము, మోస్ట్ స్ట్రాటజిక్ లొకేషన్. ఈరోజు జరుగుతున్న ఇన్సర్జెన్సీ అంతా అక్కడ నుంచే వస్తుంటుంది కాశ్మీర్ లోయలోకి. దాన్ని మనం టాష్కెంట్లో ఏం జరిగిందో తెలియదు ఇచ్చేసాం. ఈవెన్ సావర్కర్ గారు కూడా దాని గురించి ప్రస్తావించింది. 71లో యాక్చువల్లీ వీ వర్ హ్యావింగ్ ఎ ఛాన్స్ టు టేక్ దట్ చిట్టగాంగ్ పోర్ట్. లాహోర్ 65లో తీసుకున్నాం, మళ్ళీ వదిలేసాం, వాళ్ళకి ఇచ్చేసాం. 71లో చిట్టగాంగ్ పోర్ట్ తీసుకొని ఉంటే వీ వుడ్ హ్యావ్ గాట్ అనదర్ రూట్ టు నార్త్ ఈస్టర్న్ స్టేట్స్. మనకు పోర్ట్ ఉండేది. 71లో వీ వర్ ఇన్ అడ్వాంటేజెస్ పొజిషన్. మనం అడిగితే మనకు వచ్చేదేమో నాకు తెలియదు. బట్ స్టిల్ స్ట్రాటజిక్ లొకేషన్స్ విషయంలో మనం అసలు మొదటి నుంచి మనకు క్లారిటీ లేదు. అండమాన్ నికోబార్ మోస్ట్ స్ట్రాటజిక్ పాయింట్. ఇప్పుడు మలక్కా స్ట్రైట్, ఇప్పుడు మనం మాట్లాడుతున్న హార్మూజ్ ఒక్క స్ట్రాటజిక్ లొకేషన్ పెట్టుకొని ఇరాన్ ఈరోజు అమెరికాని కాళ్ళ దగ్గరకు తీసుకొస్తోంది. ఒక్క స్ట్రాటజిక్ లొకేషన్ హార్మూజ్ వల్ల. హార్మూజ్ కింద వాళ్ళు 30-40 ఇయర్స్ నుంచి వాళ్ళు టన్నెల్స్ పెట్టుకున్నారు. ఐ మీన్ మోస్ట్ ఎట్లా అంటే అసలు ఇప్పుడు అక్కడున్న విజువల్స్ అవన్నీ చూస్తూ ఉంటేనైతే చాలా భయంకరంగా ఉన్నాయి. అక్కడ ఉన్న ఐలాండ్స్ అన్నీ ఇరాన్ క్యాప్చర్ చేసుకుని కూర్చుంది. సో వాళ్ళు ఎప్పుడో 30 ఇయర్స్ నుంచి వాళ్ళు వార్ని వాళ్ళు ఊహించగలిగారేమో అని నా పాయింట్. ఈవెన్ ఇరాక్ వార్లో వాళ్ళు ఓడిపోయిన విధానము దాన్నంటి తీసుకొని దే ఎక్విప్ దెమ్సెల్వ్స్ విత్ దేర్ లిమిటెడ్ రిసోర్సెస్తో ఎలా ఫైట్ చేయొచ్చు టిల్ ద లాస్ట్ బ్రెత్ అనేది మనకు వాళ్ళు చేయగలిగారు. దేర్ జియో స్ట్రాటజిక్ లొకేషన్స్. ఇప్పుడు మనకు మలక్కా స్ట్రైట్ ఉంది, దట్ ఈస్ మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ప్లేస్. మలక్కా స్ట్రైట్ని మనం ఎలా యూటిలైజ్ చేస్తాం దాని గురించి మనం ఏమన్నా ఆలోచించాలేమో. అండ్ ఫైనలీ నేరేటివ్స్, దిస్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ సార్. ఇప్పుడు నేను మీతో మాట్లాడుతున్న టైంలోనే జస్ట్ ఊరికే ఈ వెస్టర్న్ మీడియా ఏం మాట్లాడుతుందో ఊరికే చూద్దామని చెప్పి ఓపెన్ చేశాను. BBC, ద సిచ్యువేషన్ ఈస్ డైర్, వార్ ఆన్ ఇరాన్ స్క్వీజెస్ ఇండియాస్ కుకింగ్ గ్యాస్ సప్లైస్. ఓకే, రైటర్స్ అయితే వాడు రాశాడు, కిచెన్స్ అక్రాస్ ఇండియా డిచ్ హాట్ ఫుడ్ డ్యూ టు కుకింగ్ గ్యాస్ షార్టేజ్. రైటర్స్ స్టోరీ. సో నెరేటివ్స్లో వీఆర్ ఫెయిలింగ్ ఎవ్రీ టైమ్. సో ఆపరేషన్ సింధూర్లో రఫేల్స్ పోయినా ఆయన నెరేటివ్ బిల్డ్ చేశారు. సో అంటే ఆ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ వార్ఫేర్లో మనం ఇంకొంచెం ఎక్విప్ అవ్వాలి ఈ దేశం అనేది నా పాయింట్. చివరిగా అవేర్నెస్ అమాంగ్ పీపుల్, పీస్ అనే మాట, ఫైట్ అనే మాట. ఇప్పుడు నిన్ననే ఒక స్టోరీ వచ్చింది. ఐ జస్ట్ స్పోక్ టు వన్ పర్సన్ హూ ఇస్ దేర్ రన్నింగ్ ఎ థింక్ ట్యాంక్ ఇన్ ఇజ్రాయెల్లో. ఆయనతో మాట్లాడుతుండే ఇజ్రాయెల్లో దే ఆర్ బ్యాక్ టు వర్క్. 12 daysలో దే ఆర్ బ్యాక్ టు వర్క్. బంకర్స్ నుంచి వర్క్లోకి వెళ్ళిపోయారండి. సో అంటే దే ఆర్ యూస్ టు ఇట్ అండ్ దే ఆర్ ఫైటింగ్ వార్స్ ఫ్రమ్ ద బిగినింగ్ డే కదా. సో ఇప్పటికీ వాళ్ళు ఫైట్ చేస్తూనే ఉన్నారు. సో వార్ని ఎలా తీసుకోవాలి, వార్ స్ట్రాటజీ ఏంటి, వార్ విషయంలో ప్రజలు ఏమనుకోవాలి. వాళ్ళ మన దగ్గర కూర్చునే సోకాల్డ్ ప్యానలిస్టులు, మీడియాలో కూర్చునే వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా వార్ అంటే అదేదో చాలా నష్టము, అసలు మనం ఎంతో చాలా ఇబ్బంది పడతాము, అది చేస్తాం ఇది చేస్తామని మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. బట్ వార్ ప్రతిసారి వార్ చేసిన ప్రతి దేశం బాగుపడింది, ఏం నష్టపోలేదు అని నేను అనుకుంటున్నాను. సో ఫైనలీ ఎకనామిక్స్ సార్, మీరందరూ పెద్దవాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు కాబట్టి యు గివ్ ఫైనాన్షియల్ బేస్లో చెప్తారు కావచ్చు. నేను నేరేటివ్స్ విషయంలోనే ఈ దేశంలో నేరేటివ్స్ వార్ని మనం ఎదుర్కోకుండా గ్రౌండ్లో ఎన్ని వార్స్ చేసినా ఎంత ఎదుర్కొన్నా మనం ఏం చేయలేము.
Perfect, Andy. Right. Just Manohar, just 2 points which I'll so I'm taking 2 points. Andy. The Operation Sindoor has given great advantage to India. We have proved all our weaponry and we are exporting 30,000 crores of defense exports last year. It will go up to 50,000-60,000 crores. Important point is, he asked whether are we equipped. In time, the narrative we have not given to the public. Prahlad Ramarao garu, our own, from Hyderabad, DRDO, we have beautiful laser defense system. All small drones are simply burned by laser system when we activate it in the Sindoor Akash system. So we have done it. So therefore, fairly well, what your point is very well taken. Only narrative building, how to negative, that is very important. Narrative building. Today's Western media, the way they are talking, should be somebody there from us, That's why I think, first post has come, Palki Sharma. At the same time, our people are doing it, Republic TV, they are doing narrative building. I think that's very important. Yes.
So one point, sir, and I just forgot. In this war, right, Middle East, I mean, for example, Israel, గాజా స్ట్రిప్ నుంచి హమాస్ టెర్రరిస్టులు పాకిస్తాన్కి వచ్చారు. ఇప్పుడు మనం మురుట్కేలో ఏదైతే ఆపరేషన్ సింధూర్ టైంలో కొట్టామో అక్కడికి హమాస్ టెర్రరిస్టులు ఇక్కడ ఉన్నారు. పాకిస్తాన్ ఆక్యుపైడ్ జమ్మూ అండ్ కాశ్మీర్లో హమాస్ కాశ్మీర్ సాలిడారిటీ డే ఒకటి దాంట్లో వాళ్ళు పార్టిసిపేట్ చేశారు. అండ్ ద సేమ్ ఢిల్లీ టెర్రరిస్ట్ అటాక్ జరిగిన దానికి హమాస్ లింక్స్ ఉన్నాయని తెలుస్తోంది. అండ్ హమాస్ ఈజ్ వెల్ ఎక్విప్డ్ ఇన్ దిస్ టన్నెల్ వార్ఫేర్. సో ఇప్పుడు మనం హార్మూజ్ స్ట్రైట్లో కూడా టన్నెల్ వార్ఫేర్ చూస్తున్నాం. సో మనకు పాకిస్తాన్కి ఉన్నటువంటి బార్డర్స్లో ఇక్కడ ఈ టన్నల్ వార్ఫేర్ అనేది వాళ్ళు మొదలు పెడితే ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి వెరీ టఫ్. సో దేర్ we have issues. అక్కడ కొంచెం చేయాల్సింది ఒకటి ఉందేమో. అదొకటే. I just want to.
I'll just make one point. I just make one.
They'll take care of everything.
Sai garu.
We'll just.
But one important point, Sai garu, మీరు చెప్పింది మీరు ఒకసారి just one second, sir. Just to address his one point, we can tell the government when we prepare notes. And the first point is, let us not be scared of this war. Okay, what it means is, it is an opportunity for this generation which has not seen the world wars or any other war. This is an opportunity to prepare this generation of what may happen in the future, even in India. So let us use this as an opportunity, both in terms of narrative and in terms of preparing people, skills, economy, everything put together.
And technology.
We have to be everything put
Warfare,
together.
technology.
Let us use this war as an opportunity. Let us not be afraid of this war. Is that a point we can communicate to the government?
Perfectly right.
GPS first వచ్చింది ఆర్మీ కోసం. GPS system, navigation system, telecommunication system, everything first war putting start అవుతుంది సార్. తర్వాత civilians
Even radio కూడా అంతే కదా.
But we have not seen. So this generation is very, very close.
We are talking.
ఇప్పుడు ప్రజలు ఇప్పుడు టైం బీయింగ్ ప్రజలు ఇప్పుడు ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ చేసేది ఏంటంటే గ్యాస్ లేదంటారు, సిలిండర్ లేదంటారు. అందరూ చెప్పేది మొత్తం నాయకులు కానీ అందరం చెప్పేది కూడా మొత్తం వీ హ్యావ్ ఎనఫ్ స్టాక్ ఉన్నది, దాని గురించి వరి కావాల్సి వస్తుంది. ఈ కాంటెక్స్లో ప్రైస్ పెరుగుతోంది. ప్రైస్ పెరగకుండా తగ్గించేది కూడా గవర్నమెంటే. ఎట్లుంటుంది? ఎందుకంటే దాన్ని ఫ్యాక్టరీ సిచ్యువేషన్ దాన్ని పెంచుతుంది. గ్యాస్ లేకపోతే పవర్ లేదా, పవర్ మనం చేయలేమా? అసలు డిఫికల్ట్గా చెప్పేదంటే పవర్ జనరేషన్ ఎంత చేయాలో అంత చేస్తుంది. ఇప్పుడు ఉన్నది పవర్ మనకు లేదా, ఎలక్ట్రిసిటీ మనం జనరేట్ చేయలేమా, మైన్స్ చేయలేవా? దాంతో ట్యాకిల్ చేస్తాము. వద్దే వద్దు, గ్యాసే వద్దు అంటే పవర్ పాయింట్ చేస్తుండే. అంటే ఇది పబ్లిక్ నుంచి మొత్తం రిలీఫ్ కావడానికి, టెన్షన్ నుంచి రిలీవ్ కావడానికి ప్రైస్ తగ్గించండి. 100 రూపాయలు సిలిండర్.
Price కాదు సార్. We should prepare this generation and all of us for a war. Implications of war లో ప్రైస్ పెంచినా ఉంచినా తగ్గించినా it should not matter. We are in a situation of war. Let us all be prepared. ఆ మాట చెప్పగలగాలి గవర్నమెంట్.
Sir, one more point is we are geared up actually in terms of the chicken neck as well. The government of India is initiating to declare an area as a union territory so that the center would have a control. And let me tell you one thing, in tunnel also below that. Yeah. In fact, now as the gentleman has told about the innovation part, Government of India also is gearing up in many ways in terms of ensuring quality and compliance in many areas. It is not just ISI mark, something much more than that. So the quality compliance, not just in saying it, in planning, directing, coordinating, executing, and course corrections. What happens is, whatever policy we make, down the line, we find some flaws come. You always course correct. So there is a review mechanism that is put. If you just take the example of pharma industry, what we are looking at is work towards getting a new molecule than just remaining a generics manufacturer. ఇప్పుడు ఇప్పటికి కూడాను మందులు మనం తయారు చేయడంలో జెనరిక్స్ మెడిసిన్సే చేస్తున్నాం కానీ కొత్తగా ఇది కనుక్కోవటంలా. కానీ ఇప్పుడు దెర్ ఇస్ an R&D wing that is coming up in the background. Lot of things are not very open. But when you talked of narrative spreading, in some areas, for some reasons, we are not actually publicizing.
Can we have one meeting, please?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So there is a focus on quality and compliance from the government of India in terms of the R&D. R&D is no more relax and dream, it is research and development. I think there is a concerted effort that's going on. I have evidences actually to say that in terms of pharmaceuticals. The only thing is, as you said very rightly, it is more of a consumer market. We are just ending up doing non-innovative things.
Yeah,
but those Indians who go to US, for example, who are in California.
Let's talk about current situation.
Yeah, current situation. See, even defense manufacturing, it will help us if we get recognized. Inside the country, our molecules are our things. I mean, things are happening that way. It's a mixed way. But in the current war scenario, the government of India's effort to, secure in terms of declaring some area as union territory, these are all the measures. We are gearing up for sure. But war is an unwanted situation for the entire world. It is not just for India or any country. So my submission is that, as you said very rightly, let us not be worried about what war is going to do. This is an opportunity for us to improve upon our own systems in terms of building them up. That's it.
It is not about what war will do to us, what we will do in
what
this
we
time
can do
for-
in turn.
Let us
Yeah,
think about that. Yeah.
May I, sir? May I? Yeah, my name is Thirumal. I want to start with this statement. Bad peace is better than good war. I'll repeat this statement again. It's a very complex one. Bad peace is better than good war. Because peace could be very bad, but war could be very good. But as you rightly said, it leads to a lot of destruction, a lot of loss, and in terms of economy, in terms of growth and development. So maybe India is very smart in practicing, bad peace with China. Though, there's a kind of a claim that, we lose land. But for the moment, we may lose it, but in the long run, we are not into conflict, we are not into destruction. And therefore, we are able to grow internally, economically, and externally also. I think that's something which is really, fascinating to think of in Indian leadership. So not get into war, not get into war, and then still, focus on growth and development. So when the countries are, so keen to grab land, but India is one country which is focusing on growth and development. I think that's a very good sign for any, developing country. So on a healthy note, I think everybody is very safe and secure in India because our focus is on growth and development, not on war and crisis. That's one. I'm talking in larger picture. Again, and the statement is bad peace is better than good war. Yeah. The other one is, the India has become a global hub for GCCs. Today, global capability centers, India is leading the globe now. So that's a very clear sign that we are growing leaps and bounds, and it's now India to the world, not the world to India. So no more like a service center, service providers. We are actually developers. So we moved, and there is a paradigm shift in that. And maybe the other one, since you're all talking about, maybe as a policy we can enact that every citizen should work in army. Every citizen, irrespective of the gender, should be given an opportunity to work in the army because that actually builds the kind of nationalism in the people. Yeah, and these are the 3 points. Thank you. Thank you for the applause also. My name is Thirumal. My name is Thirumal, sir. Thirumala Edukondala. Venkateshwara.
Sir, but you said bad peace is better than good war.
Lord Krishna also went for negotiation because he want to avoid the conflict. So India is practicing in true spirit and letter about Lord Krishna's policy.
Yeah.
No, he said bad peace is better than good war. We don't need to start war. Somebody else will come wage war. We have to be prepared.
Surya ji, kindly bring the development. So I am Sai Prasad, sir. I am completely in agreement with Mr. Sai Garu, my namesake. అయితే యుద్ధం వల్ల మనం కొన్ని పాఠాలు నేర్చుకుంటున్నాము. ఇందాక వారు చెప్పినట్టుగా యుద్ధం మన దేశంలో ప్రజలకు అందరికీ యుద్ధం గురించి చెప్పాల్సిన అవసరం ఉంది. నిజంగా ఆ నెరేటివ్ బిల్డ్ చేయాలి. But this is an opportunity for us to identify that there are certain vulnerabilities in the logistics supply chain and there are certain gaps. So these gaps needs to be addressed. Our focus on a single region for our sourcing is our first gap. We need to address this gap. Then the diversion, there could be many things. There had been a proposal for a long time to have an alternative route through Pakistan, through some other area. That had been there for more than 10 years, 10-15 years. But it did not take place. I think again it is a time for us to again rework on all those alternatives. Alternatives to Hormuz Strait was thought of 25 years back. That again we need to rework. That's the first thing. The second thing is many people are worried about the dollar, the petrol price. In 2008, the crude oil was $147. $147 was in two. So 47, we still survived. We can easily absorb the shocks. So therefore, what we need to tell the citizens is that don't get panic. So there are panic mongers in our country. So we should be responding to these panic calls. That is, and all the suggestions which we are now making, they have already been considered by the Government of India. And Government of India is already doing all these things. Government of India has already written to all the state governments to take care of many things. But the problem is the response time, because it's a larger country, the response time is longer. So how do we reduce this response time? This is another area I think we need to focus. Then innovation, Atmanirbhar Bharat, MSMEs, all these Government of India is already working. Government of India is already working on different strategies, low cost equipment, etc. So we need to again strengthen them and then try to improve it, implement it at a faster pace. I think if we are able to do that, then we will be able to really be trying to find solutions. And manaki eppudu problem ochina, India is a country, మనం ప్రతి ప్రాబ్లంలో నుంచి ఆపర్చునిటీ చూసినటువంటి కంట్రీ మనం. మోర్బీలో మచ్చువా రివర్కి మనందరికీ తెలుసు, మచ్చువా రివర్కి వరదలు వస్తే మోర్బీ ప్రజలకి వాళ్ళందరూ ఏం పోయింది అని అనుకుంటే ఏం లేదు. వాళ్ళ మోర్బీ ఈజ్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ది బెస్ట్ టౌన్స్ విత్ హ్యూజ్ పర్ క్యాపిటా ఇన్కమ్. ఎట్లా ఇచ్చారు? పటేల్స్. So there are communities in our country who can take the country and bring the economy back. Let us not worry about all those things. Let us focus on let every citizen work to its best. If we are able to do that, if we are able to tell that every citizen should work to its best, we'll prosper.
అది మనకి అవైలబిలిటీ ఇష్యూ, లాజిస్టిక్ అవైలబిలిటీ, ఈవెన్ క్రూడ్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో ఇష్యూ అండి. ఇట్ ఈస్ కమింగ్ టు Okay, thank you. So shall we sum it up and shall we?
మీకు కానీ ఒక గ్యాస్ వచ్చేది పరిస్థితి వచ్చి తెలియదా?
Okay. Thank you, and we will sum it up. So, shall we sum it up? 7:30. We are 7:28. Hanuman Chaudhary. Civilizations over there cannibalized and killed. Since you have not awareness is not there. But for Shivaji and a few people in India, our civilization could have gone cannibalized. When you see other civilizations, you feel very so about it. We'll leave it. Shall we sum it up?
Thank you. Just, is there one Muslim country which is supporting Iran? Is there one Muslim country which is supporting Iran? None. Why? Think of it. బలహీనాంగులకున్ బలాధికులకున్ ప్రత్యర్థి భావోద్యమంబులు కల్పించి వినాశమున్ నెరపి భూభారమున్ బాపి కృతకృత్యుడైతని ఏమని విన్నవిందు భగవదాయత్తంబు బుద్ధీశ్వర. That is about Krishna in the animal. Krishna was gone. Arjuna went there and came and told the Pandavas, బలహీనాంగులకున్ బలాధికులకున్ ప్రత్యర్థి భావోద్యమంబులు కల్పించి వినాశమున్ నెరపి భూభారమున్ బాపి కృతకృత్యుడైతని ఏమని విన్నవింతు భగవదాయత్తము బుద్ధీశ్వర. So these are all great things. They are happening according to time. Because time is the one which produces the changes.
Number one. Number two, and as you rightly said, అడగండి. ఒక్క నిమిషం సార్ చెప్పిన దానికి సార్ చెప్పిన క్లోజ్ చేస్తాను. ఒక మేడం ఒక్క నిమిషం సార్ చెప్పిన క్లోజ్ చేస్తాను.
Iran must be finished. Iran must be finished. Not only Iran must be finished, even Islam has got to be finished. See, a Prime Minister of England, about 90 years ago, he waved the Quran in the Lok Sabha, in the Parliament, and said, as long as this book is there, there will be no peace in the world. forget the name, UK Prime Minister. I quote it again and again. Karuna not Minister Churchill. You put the Google button. As long as this book is there, there will be no peace in the world. See, the villain is Islam, not Muslims. And that is what he has also said. Now the whole world is recognizing the problem is with Islam, not Muslims. From the time they are born, in the madrasa, what are they taught? In the madrasa. And it starts from there. A Prime Minister, as long as the book is there.
So, thank you very much, Andy, for... So, thank you very much, sir, for all the active participation. To sum it up, the fairly conclusion and all this is, I am only giving broadly the conclusions. Very important is to continue the neutral diplomacy, number one. Ensure that our interest is more than any other interest, number one. Number two, in terms of economic policies, we should continue to boost domestic consumption so that our economy is not affected by foreign effect, number one. Number two, push for energy diversification so that we develop alternate sources to fossil fuel. So we push for solar more, or the PLA scheme or whatever scheme, some more incentive. 1 lakh crore something can be allowed to push more on solar power so that we reduce dependence. And financial autonomy we should continue to push so that rupee settlements will go on so that this war and dollar will not affect. And strengthen economic stabilization fund అది 1,00,000 కోట్లు అని చెప్పారు కానీ కాగితం మీద పేపర్లో వచ్చింది 58,000 కోట్లు. So that should be strengthened to support all our solar other economic measures and to fund the gap in the crude rate, so the subsidy ఇవ్వటానికి number one. And alternate logistics, maritime security మీద focus చేయాలి. More focus on cyber security. Very important is our institutions collapse కాకుండా, airports collapse కాకుండా. It's very important to ensure cyber security not only outside and through internet, also attack on internet facilities, underground sea-based cables. And continue to very important is to develop a narrative building. Narrative building should be there. We chip in the very important narrative building. Next important point, sir, is take it granted the war will come to us. For that we should prepare public and facilities, equipment, all required warfare, so that it may come through Kashmir, it may come through Bangladesh, it may come through whichever border it is. We have to get prepared for next continuation of war. That's very important. And the nationality building is very important in any war. To face any war, today Iranian success is nothing but their spirit of nationality, though they don't have money, they don't have equipment, inflation is high, crude oil rates have skyrocketed, but still they are surviving and fighting. That's only due to nationality. This is the opportunity to pursue the nationality and to build up alternate systems, warfare, to get prepared for warfare. Any Akashlan systems, any more systems, what type of warfare will come. As rightly said, Sai Krishna, Hamas attack we should get prepared for it. In the end, Pakistan declared, Rasim Munir said, we will convert POK into Gaza and Annadi Gawati, we should get prepared for it. So these are few suggestions, and more academic suggestions will give it Andy. So I think broadly this is the sum up. I think all of us, we can add any more suggestions. You can WhatsApp to Vijay Garu or Srinivas Garu. We can sum it up and prepare a note. Hope broadly the items have come out like this. So thank you, Hanuman Chaudhary, for your presence, and coming. Thank you very much. Thank you. Huh? Correct. Thank you, Andy. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.